model. What is a data map model? Data map model comes in the model view. So let's say right now I just have this one table. Let's say I want to get one another table. Okay, so I'll go to this section of report view. I'll click on get data. I'll bring an Excel workbook. Let's say I bring the workbook of products. So it takes some time to load. Now I can click on the sheet over here. So here you see that my column header starts from row first, and it is not actually in a proper way. So what I'll do, I can go to the transform data. Transform data basically open up your Power Query editor. Power Query editor is nothing, but whenever you want to clean up your data or you want to make your data more appropriate, like the way I told you that my column headers are there in the first row. So I want to make them appropriate so that I have the column headers and my data is all set in a proper format. Okay, so in that cases or in these situations, what I do, I basically go ahead with the Power Query editor. So Power Query editor is nothing but the Power Query editor is something which helps you to clean up your data in the proper format, the way you want to clean up your data. Though this is the way where it helps you to clean up your data and give you in a proper format. So here I can see that like use first row as a header. So I can go and say use first row as a header. Let's see, it is changed. Now my headers are perfectly fine. Now from here, I can see if I want to change the data type of any of these columns, or maybe I can check some information like how many counts are there of the column, how many errors are there, how many distinct values are there, how many unique values are there. I can check all these descriptions and everything of a data set. Or in fact, in that case, if I want to like change any data type of any column or anything of that sort, I can do that. So I think that my data is fine for now. So what I'll do, I'll go to this of close and apply. I'll click on close and apply. Now it will take some time to apply the changes. So that is done automatically in Power BI. You don't have to bother about that. It will automatically done in Power BI. So it's just taking few seconds to like download that and like applying the changes and can go. And if you think that it's taking a lot of time, so you can click on the supply changes and it becomes the connection becomes a more faster. So it takes some time to load, to refresh, and all these things takes a few seconds to do it. So that's how it is going to going on. Okay. So see, it is loading the data. So here, my data is being loaded. So you can see over here, a new data table has also been come up, which is like this. Okay, now let's suppose I go to my model view. So if you remember the topic where we are doing a data model map. Data model map is nothing but a type of a relationship that we want to create between the tables so that by linking the two tables together, we can actually create some visuals out of them. Basically, if there are two tables and we can link those tables together based on any common column or the values in the common column, then that would be a linkage. And based on those two or three tables, we can basically show some visuals as a combination visuals we can see. So what we need to do is that we need to first go to the model view. So here you see that these are the two tables now I have done, and automatically they will create a relationship between each of them. So if I click on this, I'll double click on this, I'll able to see that on what columns they have actually connected themselves or what is the common column on which they have actually made a connection. Or if you want to see those connections or anything, you simply go to manage relationship. Sorry. Okay. So yeah, you can go to manage relationships. So let me close it and open again. So you can simply go to manage relationship. And here you can see what is the relationship. So here it auto detects. So by default in Power BI, it auto detects that what is the relationship between the two data sets. Basically, it auto detects. But if you want to create a new one, you can click on the new and you can create your connections or any relationship between the data. So from here, you can select the tables and based on that, you can create the cardinal relationship that is one to one, many to many, or many to one. Or if you want to edit the existing one, you can just click on that and you can click on the edit one. So here already the connections are saved. So you can see product SAQ is connected with product SAQ and it is many to one relationship. And when you're filtering it, it is a cross filter direction. That is a single direction filter. So basically what's a cross filter direction that is there in your Power BI is, so your cross filter detection, the cross filter direction in Power BI is nothing but it is a single arrowhead that represents a single direction filter that represents in Power BI. Basically, what happens as a cross filter direction table is that, so when you have many to many and current supported model in which your one key is corrected to another key, that means in that case a single cross filter means a single direction. Okay, single direction, like in a single direction only you can have a filter. So basically you can have the orders filter applied to the product filter, but not the product filters applied, like the product data applied to the orders data. That's what is mean by a single direction filter. And both means a relationship in both the directions is commonly described as a both or a bidirectional filter. For example, if you take the data, if you apply anything from a filter from a product table also, that will also be applicable. And if you apply anything from an orders table also, that will also be applicable. So for one to many relationship, cross filter direction is always one sided. Okay, and optionally for many from the many, it is bidirectional. So one to many relationship always have a cross filter direction for both tables. Lastly, for many to many relationship, the cross filter direction can be on both the tables or on the single table. So whenever we set it up to both, let's say another property becomes available, which is called as bidirectional filter, when Power BI enforces a row level security rules, where Power BI can enforce a row level security rules. So if you click on both, see, apply security filter in both directions. So you can have a row level securities for like row level securities in Power BI desktop, where you can modify the relationship and all these terms. Now, what is a row level security? Is it basically restricting the access of the user? So basically, a row level security is something where you are restricting the users list, that what all users can actually view your data set and what all users can't view the data set. So if you go to this single one, we by default create that and we click on OK. And we just close it. So this is a basic relationship. Now, what this relationship helps you in? Like as I've connected these two tables and like this is working on, like this is done. So when you go to the report view, now let's suppose I have created this. I was creating this funnel table. So let's say on the basis of the product category, I want to create a funnel. So see, the funnel has been created. Now, why this has been created? So you can see based on the hoodie, sweatshirt and everything, your charts have been created. Like I can see the sum of profit based on my product category. Product category is coming from my product table and the profit is coming from my orders table. So this is how we can see about the like we have connected the two tables together and based on that we can actually make this. In fact, we can now have the tooltip of first product on site. So whenever you hover over it, you will see that the product category is hoodie and sweatshirt. Sum of profit is 1,231. Percent of first is 100% and the first product size is L. So it's a product large. You can, if you want, you can show the count also like this one. Okay. This is how you show the funnel chart or any of the chart in that case, any of it. Like if you want to have a KPI chart also, that will also work in any case. So basically my main motive is that whenever we are working with a data model or any of that model in that case, so the basic concept comes in of data model mapping is to combine both of the tables at an original levels. Now, if you remember that whenever we are doing this, and we are going to manage relationship, so we can have a manage roles as well. You can create some roles. For example, you can create a new roles on order table. Let's say you can add filters based on order ID, month and all, or you can delete that role as well. So this is something which is like a role you create. So it is on the table expression. Then you can create an option of view as. So view as roles as none and other users. So whatever the other users want to apply to the roles, you can just provide them that relationship and they can like see for that and they can have a look on it basically. So whomsoever you will be providing the access to view that dashboard, basically they will able to see. That's what it means by managing the role. So it everything comes under the managed relationship. Whenever you have two data sets and you are creating a connection between two data sets, based on that, it will always have a connection made up on that set. Okay. So that's called as a data model map.